Hi, welcome to Homemade TV on Wednesday, the 8th of July 2020. My name's Chris Gosling, and this is our delayed stream from earlier this morning at 11 o'clock when I made a technical mistake, which is not a new sensation, but such is life. And today we've got a bit of a packed program. Don't forget, you're very welcome to make any comments you like. You're very welcome to effectively have a chat about anything that interests you. I'm delighted to hear from you. You can reach me through the Facebook page. You can reach me through the YouTube player. And of course, you can also send us an email at production@seriousleisure.co.uk, or you can telephone us. That's to leave a message or to record a voice message. That's on 07943 043 948. And that phone number and detail is on the ticker that we've got going along just at the bottom of the picture, just there. So don't hesitate to get in touch. I would love to hear from you. Good morning to whoever's out there. We've got someone actually watching right now, which is excellent. Okay, well, what have we got today? We've got a fairly busy program, and I think I need to get kind of right into it. The first thing we're going to start with is scams, because scams go on all the time. So what I thought we'd try and do is to mention a scam every week, or every show, in fact, so that's twice a week. Today's scam is an email scam. Let's have a look at that one. And this is TV licensing. Well, TV licensing has been done many times before. This is one actual email, the kind of which I haven't seen before, not laid out exactly like this. It looks very similar to the TV licensing email format, but it is completely fake. The main reason you can tell is because it doesn't give any personal details of the recipient. So it says Chris at Spectrum Comms, which is a business address of mine. And from my point of view, well, honestly, someone sends me that and wants money from me, they ain't going to get it. But this also came to me from, I think, 4 or 5 different email addresses that I found, all spoofing themselves as licensing or do not reply at tvlicensing.com. So you know they're fake. But I did speak to one person who said it looked genuine to me until I really looked at it a bit deeper, but I ignored it any damn way. So that's the way to go. To be honest with you, if you get emails from people you're not expecting them from, either offering you money or demanding money, then in both cases, I think you're pretty safe to ignore them. If it's something that really worries you, actually get in touch with the real people by telephone, perhaps. So if you'd rung TV licensing's proper number and said, do I owe you money? And they said no, then there you go. The reality, I think, for things like this TV licensing scam is to ignore them. We'll bring you another scam next time we're up. And if you come across a scam, either email or phone or whatever, I would love to hear about it. And I'd like to see a picture or two of what you get. Now, the next topic, well, we've got an interesting one here. For older people in the UK, getting about the countryside, if you don't drive yourself, is more and more expensive. If you take trains, it costs you a fortune. This company, Flixbus, is coming to us from their German base, but they do now cover a lot of Europe and some of America as well, and other countries. And they operate buses using local bus companies to provide the wheels, as it were. And they offer some amazing prices. At the moment, they're working from, I think, 4 different routes in the UK. So they're operating from a London hub, Victoria Bus Station, I think. They're running services to Guildford. They're running a service to Birmingham. They're running a service to Portsmouth. And they're running a service to Bristol. Now, all 4 of those services are once or twice a day. I think twice a day in most cases, maybe more. And they're planning to expand the number of destinations they offer. All of their services are centered around London. And that's because they also offer services from London into Europe. Flixbus seem very, very reasonably priced, may I say. I'm well impressed with the prices they have on their website. If you go and look at flixbus.co.uk, you will find them and you'll find all their details. It's an interesting one. I think the bus companies in this country have a lot to offer. They can offer really good prices. And because Flixbus do something called dynamic pricing, it means that if you order your travel early, if you book early, then you get really good prices. There are currently prices on their website as low as £3.99 for any of those 4 destinations. So take a look if you're interested in travel in general and see what they're offering. And if you want to go to one of the places they're going to, then give it a go. And if you do that, get back in touch with me and tell me what your experience was. I'd love to know. Okay, there you have it for that one. Now, I thought that's a really, really interesting service, and I plan to use it and have a go at Flixbus and see what their service is like. Okay, now on to the next thing. The next thing we're looking at is cruises, and I was lucky enough to see this video, and I asked the guy if I could use it, and here you go. One of the UK's biggest cruise liners, effectively at the moment, is parked off Suffolk, where I live. It's a place, near a place called Kessingland, near Lowestoft in Suffolk. And here's a little clip to show you the ship parked up, as it were, just offshore and waiting for trade to resume. Keen cruise fans will be sad to see an unusual sight off the coast of Suffolk recently. The Cunard Line's 2,000 passenger cruise ship Queen Victoria at anchor, unemployed due to coronavirus. For Queen Mary II and Queen Victoria, Cunard has cancelled all sailings that were due to depart up to and including November the 1st. For Queen Elizabeth, the cruise line has taken the decision to cancel the entire Alaska season and all departures up to and including November the 23rd. Cunard Line is owned by Carnival, and their present 3 ships are due to be joined by a 4th ship, brand new from Italian builders Fincantieri Marittimo, during 2022. That's sad to see, isn't it? I think it's quite sad to see big ships like that, essentially unemployed, essentially eating their heads off in costs over the time that they're going to be, well, you might say, just laid up off the Suffolk coast. There are many more of them around the country. There's some in Scotland. I think the Fred Olsen Line ships are up in Scotland. There are ships down on the south coast, many of them, and they're popping in and out of Southampton and other ports all the time to top up their supplies and get rid of the rubbish. It's very sad. How long it will keep going, we do not know, but I hope that cruise lines soon get back in action. We saw another bit of news yesterday from the big cruise line Carnival, and Carnival say that they're actually cancelling a lot of cruises on 2 or 3 of their ships, and this is mainly because they're having trouble getting a new ship, the Mardi Gras, and a refurbed ship, which is the Radiance. They're having trouble getting those back into service because what's happened, of course, is that the shipyards have had problems doing the work. So what Carnival have decided to do is pull some of their cruises and put the ships to work on the cruises that were going to be operated by their new ships. It's really quite sad and quite painful, and it does mean more people are going to suffer the loss of their holidays. It's one of those things that happens, I'm sad to say, in this world of ours. Okay.
You're watching Homemade TV, fresh streamed online content for older people who want to know more about the news that affects us, the news that's mostly ignored by the mainstream media. Homemade TV.
One or two things. Oh, I left that silly thing up. Hey, one or two things to remind you about now. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of July, and this afternoon, the Chancellor, Rishi, I think his proper name is, Rishi Sunak, is making an announcement in Parliament about the state of the nation, I guess you'd say, the economy and so forth. He's supposed to come up and talk about several things. They're supposed to be providing, according to the BBC, this is, Mr. Sunak's supposed to be providing more money for training. He's supposed to be providing money to save jobs, boosting new sectors, providing possibly some tax cuts to encourage us to spend more money. And then he's going to say, well, the rest is going to be in the budget. Now, the thing we're going to watch out for this afternoon here at Homemade TV is we're going to be looking for the interests of our age group, pensioner age group, and we're watching out to see if he says anything about what's happening to us, because there are suspicions that in the budget, which will be in the autumn, he may make some changes to what's called the triple lock. At some point in the next couple of shows, we'll actually explain that triple lock properly, effectively. What it means is that we get guaranteed a certain level of increase in pensions every year to keep us up with inflation. But it's more complex than that, and we will come back to it shortly. So here's the man to watch out for. Here he is. Doing some shopping. I'm not entirely sure where this photograph comes from, but it is from the mighty BBC. So there you go. We'll keep an eye out for Rishi Sunak as he talks to Parliament. That will be live and Parliament starting sometime around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. If you feel bored and feel like shooting yourself, you may choose to watch the BBC at that point. So Rishi Sunak, we wish you well, but we hope you're not going to damage pensioners' incomes. Okay. So now, finally, just another mention. We're starting the Homemade TV newsletter next week. We'll have a lot more links and stuff in there. So hopefully that will finally manage to start up next week. It was planned to start this week, but unfortunately, I just got too busy. I'm really sorry about that, but such is life. Okay, so that's that. And what are we talking about today? Let's just have a look at this. Good Lord, it's Mike Harvey Murray. And Mike says, I'm sorry, I'm like, I should think so, Mike. I mean, let's face it, I have actually changed the times of the programmes from 10:30 to 11 so that we don't bump into Ken Bruce and Popmaster. So there you go. But I hope if you've watched a bit of the programme, well, it's nice to have you here. And the other people who are watching, we will get this better, the timings better. At 11 o'clock, and I hope to perform slightly better than I did this morning, when at 11 o'clock I made a technical error, which meant that my show looked like rubbish. But there's no change there. Okay, so there we have it. That is the end of my little show. We do end up having a conversation with these things, don't we, when we get a few comments in. But there you have it. Okay, what we're going to do now is say thank you very much for watching if you have been. Don't forget that this show will be on Facebook almost immediately, and it will be on YouTube pretty shortly. So you can catch up on what we've been saying. I think we've had an interesting show. I would love to have your comments and get in touch. Don't hesitate. I'd love to hear from you. You've got all kinds of contact sources coming up in the little clip that runs at the end of the show. And here it is. I'm Chris. I'll see you. Take care. Goodbye.